Hello, Endersword here again, this time with Mission 4 of the Heart of the Swarm Mastery Achievements thingy that I'm doing. So on this one is the first time that I'm going to be able to pick the abilities for Kerrigan and the army. I'm going to go for the 2 drones here. That really does jumpstart your economy a lot, and I like it a lot more than the other 2 options. The ability to heal the army around you and yourself is pretty important. I don't like the other ones quite as much. The spawn banelings could be good. Zergling Reconstitution, I think this one is key to a lot of stuff. The Overlords, that doesn't really intrigue me at all. The Vespian gas, I don't really care about that since I can do the extra drones here anyway. Chain reaction and kinetic blast to target down specific things, and then do splash damage pretty much on anything around. The Zergling Reconstitution really is the key to a whole lot of stuff. As for the actual individual abilities, the Zerg, I'm going with the move speed and the Raptor, the ability to jump around and do all kinds of stuff like that, plus the +2 damage. For the Roaches, going for the adaptive, or not the adaptive plating, but the hydraulic bile. Hydriotic bile. I'm going to say it as hydriotic bile. And the Corpser ability, so the ability to spawn roachlings as they come out. The Hydras, Mutas, and Swarm Hosts, I'm not even going to use this mission at all, so I don't really care what you pick for that. Hydras could come in useful, but I'm going to mostly use the Spawn Queens, or whatever they, Swarm Queens, whatever they feel like calling them now, the Queens, in order to deal with anything kind of anti-air that is going to come out.
Zagara's brood is currently huddled in Char's acid marsh, where you stored millions of eggs for future use. From the location of her hive cluster, it appears Zagara intends to gather as many eggs as she can.
She's trying to build an army. But how will she hatch the eggs?
She can place them in a birthing pond to quicken. I have located our hive cluster near one such pond.
Then I'll collect enough eggs to spawn an army and destroy Zagara.
So here again, almost always start off with a few drones and then rally things directly up to where Kerrigan is. Get the creep spread going a little bit here initially as well. The one thing about this, the achievement, sorry, I should say, is to kill the Zagara's main base, kill everything in it before collecting the 100 eggs. And of course, that is, it actually ends the mission when you do that. So you don't even have to go back and collect the 100 eggs. So I'll just pull up what the achievement actually is. Again, I've done this one already, so it won't pop up when I'm done. I'll soon catch up to the point that I did that on. But it is this one: destroy Zagara's base in the domination mission in less than 14 minutes on hard difficulty before collecting the 100 eggs that is required. So you have to do it without the huge force of banelings that is going to be spawned there for you.
What is it this time?
She comes in, just kinetic blast her down. These banelings you can't control anyway.
They are attacking her. Zagara has deep tunneled back to her base to recover her strength. She will return.
Banelings very useful. Morphed from Zerglings.
Gives you a bunch of free units there.
To Baneling.
Yeah, we're gonna get a few things out. Evo chamber. Just go for a couple Evo chambers here.
Now I just have to
get more workers going on gases. And then get a few overlords just to take care of everything there.
Boldly.
You don't have to collect eggs at all. It doesn't matter. if you do. And you don't generally even have to kill much. I'm just kind of gonna make myself a little bit of room around the area, but you don't have to worry about any of that really.
There are more eggs nearby.
Did you think you were rid of me?
And here going for the carapace plus the melee attack.
Yes. Make your peace. This world is mine.
And you can see you can just kind of ignore everything else.
I sense more
You
eggs.
only actually have to go and destroy her base. You don't have to collect eggs. You don't have to collect the other banelings or anything like that at all. So none of this really matters. Going for a second hatchery.
What is it this
And
time?
I'm just going to chill around until she decides to move out with this force. You can see there's a lot of mutas in there, so if I try and attack into it right now without a lot of anti-air, that's not going to go too well.
What
But
is it this
be able to take her down
No, this cannot be.
and just kind of keep her suppressed there. Grab and hold of both hatcheries. I'll rally them both to the front. And I'll do another wave of workers there. I love the fact that the lings will respawn. That really is a big key to everything that's going on. The fact that the Zerglings will just kind of come back over and over and over. It just makes them a really easily replenishable army that you just don't have to be worrying about at all.
We require more minerals.
And we'll get that out. 2 more drones. Remember, 2 actually spawns 4. So we are now at capacity there as well. And I want to get a couple more of the swarm queens out onto the map. And again, just rallying those right up front. She comes back to life.
You shall pay.
We're not in any hurry at this point. I've got like 9 minutes to go in there and kill everything. So I just want to make sure that I've got the durability. In general, in a lot of these, I find it will rebuild. If I kill this spine crawler, it'll rebuild that spine crawler. If I kill some of the things, it will try and rebuild those things up to a maximum. So you want to actually hit a overwhelming force
I'll destroy
before
it
going
by
in there.
chance.
Require more minerals. We require more minerals.
Basically, once you decide to go in this front door, you don't want to have to pull back out and regroup or anything like that. If you're going into a base like this, you want to have enough stuff that you can stay in there and actually take it all out. So again, just kinetic blasting down Zagara. Keeps her completely in her base, so if you haven't done the achievement on letting her collect no eggs, you can do that on this as well. Also, if you get bored, you can swing off to the side and destroy the infested command centers. They're like right there. Maybe I will do that just because. Why not?
Your queen
I guess I said if it was just as easy, I'd do them. There's some that I won't be doing these side missions on, because of course I have already done these. But on this one, it really is quite easy to go ahead and do that.
Make your peace. It is time.
And it'll let me pick up a few extra banelings as well.
We destroyed one of the infested Terran structures. One
I think
more
maybe this isn't the
remains.
place. There's banelings around somewhere.
The swarm conquers all. Retribution will be Mengsk will suffer. Our conquest continues.
Mutation complete. So Defeat me 1,000 times, and I will always return.
This world is mine.
It actually takes a little while to come out of there, so I'll go ahead and kill this.
No, these eggs are different than the others.
This baneling nest is ready to hatch immediately.
No time for present. Feel the wrath of the swarm.
We destroyed the last infested Terran structure.
This way.
Moses, I'm under attack. More minerals.
They're starting to go the wrong way. That is the one risk of rallying everything right to Kerrigan, is that occasionally you do have to keep an eye out whether things are going to take a path which is not entirely safe. In most missions it's going to be perfectly fine. I'm just going to take this opportunity to come in as well and take things out. And just keep some Zerg rallying to the front, or Lings rallying to the front. Should be fine. And again, maybe you can kind of see what I'm saying about just absolutely breaking them. That if you're going to come in here at all, you really want to be absolutely breaking and overwhelming the front, or else you're going to get pushed back and it's going to make a lot of new and bad things.
What is it?
But since I have, in fact, broken the front, all I really have to worry about is keeping the muta count down. That's the only thing that obviously my ground force cannot do.
Retribution.
Did you think you were rid of me?
Yes.
A minor setback.
Death awaits you. The swarm.
There's a spire around here somewhere.
Slay them all.
There it is.
It is time.
And really, once that's done, the Lings are going to be able to deal with absolutely everything else. So yeah. So once that's down, the mutas aren't going to be able to do anything anymore.
You forced my hand. You will listen. We adapt.
And the key to this whole thing, obviously, you can totally see, is the ability to just have the Lings respond. I didn't need any other units. I made a couple of these swarm hosts, or swarm queens, or whatever the hell you want to call them. That's fine. But you don't need anything else.
Feel the wrath of the swarm. Death awaits you.
And that's it. And it literally ends the mission right there. So after you've actually killed everything in her base, and only certain ones of those buildings even count as being in their base, as you can see there's a couple left, and it actually ends the mission. And I only collected like a few eggs out of the 100. You don't actually have to do that. It just ends it. So it's a lot quicker way to get through it as well. But you just have to make sure that you have enough to break the front. You have to absolutely break it. If you get pushed back at all, it's just all going to respawn in there. You could get a couple hydras if you're having problems keeping track of the mutas, but really Kerrigan can just heal there's not a lot. As long as you've kind of broken some of the main things, it's easy to get her just permanently healing herself. And even if she's the only thing in there keeping the counts down, the Zerglings will just come up and regenerate and run to the front again, and you're completely fine. So that is mission 4.